Tilburg University in the Netherlands, Beatrice de Gelder is researching how emotions travel from person to person. She studies blind sight, a strange phenomenon in which some blind people are able to see emotions in other people's faces.
We tend to think as a visual perception as a matter of intact eyes. In fact, the eyes only see because they are connected to the brain.
Most of Beatrice's patients don't appear blind. On the outside, their eyes look perfectly normal. But on the inside, there is hidden damage. In a healthy brain, a complex symphony of signals flows from the eyes to a region called the visual cortex. But if the visual cortex gets damaged, usually as a result of a stroke, the signals can no longer be picked up. A stroke normally affects only one side of the cortex, leaving the patient blind in one eye. Beatrice is investigating whether the brain might have other ways to pick up signals from that eye. She uses a partition to separate what a patient's blind eye and functioning eye can see. A computer shows images of happy, sad, or angry faces to one side only.
So we present a stimulus. It's an image of somebody laughing, somebody expressing joy.
Electrodes on the patient's face pick up any twitches of his muscles, detecting if he reacts to the emotions on display.
We see that his face was actually imitating. He was using the same muscles, without knowing it, of course, than the model he's seeing on the screen uses to produce that smile.
What's remarkable is that the emotional faces are being shown only to the patient's blind side. The seeing eye only sees neutral expressions. Yet, time and again, Beatrice's patients imitate the emotions their blind eye is looking at. But the response is not a conscious one.
We ask the person, were you sure or are you guessing? And we systematically get the answer that they were guessing.
Beatrice believes blind sight is a deeply buried subconscious sensory system rooted in a hidden part of the brain that receives signals from the eyes only when the image is loaded with emotion. But where could that part of the brain be?
We are really trying to tap into the different layers of the brain from the surface landscape. We try to sort of go underground in a way. You can see that it's like underground or undercover work. What is it all built on? What are the lower, more ancient layers?
Beatrice uncovered those layers by showing the same images of facial expressions to blind sight patients while they were inside an MRI. Normally, information from the eyes travels down the optic nerve directly to the visual cortex. But when the eyes are looking at human emotions, the signals diverge from that path and travel to the amygdala, the superior colliculus, and 6 other structures in the brain.
The human visual system consists at least of 9 different pathways. Only one of those we begin to understand, and the 8 other ones are completely in the background. So it's only in a case where that one needs to be sidestepped that the alternative pathways have a chance.
Beatrice has identified subconscious mental pathways that allow us not to see emotional stimuli, but to sense them. We all have these pathways, even though they are normally overwhelmed by our primary sense of sight. It's the first scientific evidence of a new sense, beyond the 5 we know.
One should have a sympathetic ear to those noises about sixth sense, because we don't have a clear view yet of the abilities of the brain.
Beatrice's work has shown that our brains can sense things even when we are not aware of them. It implies that any search for a sixth sense depends on understanding the boundary between conscious awareness and subconscious experience.